Hi, good morning, everybody. Okay, so today I am with my first guest. Um, we're having Miss Cassandra Hill joining us today. Hi, good morning. Okay. Hi, Cassandra. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks, and thanks for joining me this morning.
Thanks so much for the invitation. I appreciate it, Tiffany.
You're welcome. We're excited to have you on today and to tell us a little bit about your story in your words, all right?
Yes, thank you so much. For anyone out there, just know that all things are possible.
Yes,
If you can think it, it's possible.
yeah, definitely. Yes. One thing, I'm not seeing the top of your head. I'm only seeing from your nose.
Okay. Wait, let me adjust my tripod a little.
Okay, all right. Okay, great.
Okay.
Yes, I'm seeing you now. All right, excellent. All right. So, I want to jump right into the discussion. I know I went through your website. I shared a little bit from your website with my followers. Um, but I wanted to maybe from the perspective of a woman, a businesswoman, how were you able to find the time for self care? Because I know that's one of the pressing questions in our community. Like, where do you get the time? A lot of women, they their health declines because of their job, but they really can't leave the job to take care of their health, right? So it's that battle um, of balancing work, stress from work, and getting your health back on track, or when it has already gone too far, right? When you obviously have to make some adjustments. So um, that's really the perspective that I wanted to explore with you today. What were like the steps you took? How did you give yourself that space to start taking care of yourself to the point where now your lupus is in remission for what, 6 plus years, 7 plus?
7 years, 7 years knocking it out in remission. One of the things that's so important, especially for us, particularly Black women, we have to be unapologetic in giving a quick note. It's okay to give a quick note and a slow yes. Because oftentimes what ends up happening, someone asks you to, hey, do you mind doing this, and this? And you'll say yes so fast, not realizing that your to-do list is this long already.
Right.
And so giving a quick no just shortens your activity. duties, your responsibilities.
Right.
It just makes it easier. And then oftentimes what I found, what ends up happening, you're saying yes to the things that really matter. You're saying yes to the things that will propel you forward in fulfilling God's plan for your life. And when you're walking in alignment with the plan He has for you, that is going to improve every aspect of your health, physical, emotional, and spiritual. So that was one of the things that has kept me grounded in just knowing what I'm assigned to do and being okay to say no to the things that I'm not assigned to do.
Right, right. And yeah, as like you said, as women, we tend to want to say yes to everything because then we feel like, we're not just taking up space and not making ourselves as useful as we could be, or to justify our existence. So I'm glad you spoke on that, and you brought that reassurance that it's okay to say no, and it's okay to just work on those that you are assigned to. So I want to thank you for that. So if you don't mind, I wanted to go back to the beginning of your journey, or at least the part where you got the diagnosis. What was that like psychologically, physically? What was your frame of mind? How did you frame the idea that you could do something to help yourself get out of this situation?
Initially, when I got the diagnosis, I had been having problems with my health for many years. I had went misdiagnosed for over 10 years. So by the time I got the diagnosis, it was a sense of relief because I knew something was wrong and doctors just couldn't pinpoint it. So it was one sense relief, and then another part of me, I was upset, to be honest, that, here I am, a fairly young person, and going through all this and losing a career, just roughing in of my career as a gerontologist. And so part of me was upset. And honestly, at first, I just followed the doctor treatment plan. The doctor wanted me to undergo chemo. And so I was taking chemo drugs, steroids, and just a lot of other stuff. And in the process of doing that and dealing with the side effects of those drugs and experiencing further decline in my health, I knew that I needed to do something different. And so when this changed, when my thoughts changed, my life changed. One day I just told God I'm tired of being sick, and literally in a matter of a few days, things started shifting. The first year, I met someone who was a nutritionist, and she happened to be looking for a gerontologist. That's initially why she reached out to me. She wanted a gerontologist for this project, and I told her, I'm like, yes, I still work, but I don't work the same as I used to. I take my time. I'm not trying to make my situation worse than what it already is. And she was like, okay, but here's a few foods that may help with your pain. And so I implemented those foods and did notice a difference with my pain levels. And I thought, wow, I'm just shocked that some food could help me to feel better. And I went back to college because, as I mentioned, for those who don't know, a gerontologist is someone who specializes in the study of aging. And so I had my master's degree in that, and all I knew was traditional healthcare. And so I was like, well, I'm going to go back to college and study health and wellness and alternative health. And the more I studied, the next thing I know, and I'm applying what I learned, and I was in remission. Didn't even realize I was in remission. I went back to the doctor, was about to get another round of treatment, and all my blood work came back negative. And like I said, that was 7 years ago.
Wow.
And so God has just blessed me to stay in remission.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, that is amazing. And yes, yes, and thank you for sharing that with us. I I understand a lot of what your or the sentiments that you shared, particularly with nutrition, because that was one of my son has autism, and he was nonverbal for the first. That's how we figured out to go and get a diagnosis. And nutrition was one of the big things that made a difference for him. I taught myself to create apps and other solutions to help him with his and social skills, but there was a massive improvement in his overall well-being when we started to implement nutrition, or to change his diet to suit his needs. And we had a lot of breakthroughs with him. And he's 14 years old. He has his own business. He's doing fairly well. But one of the things I wanted to touch on was to go deeper into talking to you about nutrition and some of the foods that you took out of your diet or added to your diet that made it different. And maybe we could touch on some issues like inflammation or how these foods affect how you feel and how your body actually functions. You don't have to go into much details, but just to give our viewers an idea of the type of changes that are typical for this type of breakthrough that you have been able to experience.
Sure. Inflammation, anytime you have any type of autoimmune condition, it doesn't matter if it's lupus, it doesn't matter if it's reflux. That is an autoimmune condition, believe it or not. That means your body is attacking itself. So if your body is attacking itself, that's not normal. That means your fighting you. And one of the things that's so important in getting that inflammation out, it's no different. I'm sure everyone's on here, if you think about being in school, when you was a kid in school and you had a science project, and everybody want to build a volcano. And so you go and you get some Coke and you add the Coke to the volcano and it erupts. And it has a little eruption and smoke, all that good stuff. But then at some point, you have to stop it. And so in order to stop it, you add some type of base, something alkaline. You may add baking soda or, whatever. Your body is similar. If you put a bunch of acid in your body and don't have anything to balance it out, your body is going to respond. Sometimes it may be something simple, like I mentioned, reflux, something that normally is a major or it may be more severe with, like for me, it was lupus or MS or, any type of autoimmune condition. So taking out as much acid as possible, and you might be thinking, acid, what do I eat that has acid? If you drink soda, acid. A lot of coffee, acid. Pork. That is one one of those meats that produces a lot of inflammation in the body. So if you're on here, I would highly recommend taking the pork out to die. Can you eat meat? Yes. Yeah. Linear cut, turkey, chicken, fish doesn't produce that type of inflammation like pork does. Another thing that's really important with nutrition, most adults, we need about 9 to 13 servings of fruits and veggies per day for optimal health. That's about how much we need. And you're probably thinking, man, that's a whole lot, Cassandra. But one of the quick fixes you can do to make sure you get that on a daily basis, if you like smoothies, that's a real easy way to get it in. If you're not a smoothie person, a supplement. And if you need support in finding the right supplement, please feel free, hop on over to my Instagram page, live.healthy4life, and I can support you in that. Just click the link in my bio and we can have a conversation and help you to figure out what your body needs.
Right, excellent. All right, so yes, tell us a little bit more about your businesses. I want to talk to you about your book, but since you brought up the nutrition, I know you have a nutrition-based business. How do you what types of products you have, and how does it help customers to reach optimal health?
Yes, I am so in love with what I do. For me, it is my calling. My company, Holistic Living Consulting, next month, I started my business February, Black History Month, February 2018. So we're at our 5-year, almost at our 5-year, and we offer everything A to Z that your body needs for a healthy life. I have, through my affiliate partners, we have done for you veggie meals. So it's not like those other companies where you get a meal and you still got to chop and cook and it's done for you. You get it, you heat it, whether it's in the oven, microwave, however you want to heat, you heat it and you eat. So we have meals, we have supplements, we have CBD, essential oils, also I'm an author, so we have books to help in centering, because living a healthier, happier life, what you eat, drink, yeah, that's a part of it, but this has a big role in it. So we do have books particularly geared to Black women on respecting yourself, loving yourself. So books centered around that, as well as having a stronger faith in a higher being. Those are some of the products we have, in addition to our digital courses. One that I highly recommend, especially for us Black women, Unlocking the New True Authentic You. That's one of our digital courses. But Holistic Living Consulting, for me, as the CEO and founder, I envision a world where health disparities no longer exist for Black women. I wish I could say my story was atypical, but it's not. Yeah. Black women, we have the highest health disparities of any other segment in society. And that is given factoring in education, income. We are still experiencing these high disparities. Even with lupus, 10 to 20% of Black women are dying from lupus. 42% of us right here, right now in this country, live with high blood pressure, hypertension. We're 3 to 4 times more likely to die in child labor than white women. So our health, sister, if you don't hear anything else in this life, your health matters, and you deserve to live a life where you're healthy, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And if I'm not the person, if we're not a fit for one another, that's okay.
Right.
But please get the support you need. Don't wait until a crisis. Don't make the mistake I made. Don't wait until your body is in full shutdown and rebuild.
Right.
Do something right now, and then you won't have to get to that point.
Right. Because when you get to that point, it becomes more difficult for you to get back to the healthy stage, right?
Yes.
So if you don't leave yourself to go too far, then you don't have a lot of downtime, right? And that's, I think for us that's really important. And as you mentioned, you also have books on helping women to believe in themselves and believe that they are deserving of living a healthy life, emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially, in all aspects of their life. And I think that is what we are about here at Guilt-Free Self-Care, is that we believe that you shouldn't have to feel guilty about wanting or not wanting, but deserving these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to talk about your book or your books.
Yeah.
You could help guys, because I went over your website, but I wanted you to explain a little bit more and then tell the listeners, where they can get a copy and what to expect from the book, what is detailed in the book, and where they can get a copy.
Sure. I've been blessed. My first book, He Restored My Soul, Triumph Through Adversity, is a 28-day devotional. That book, just last year in 2022, won a Book Excellence Award in the spirituality category, so I'm super thankful for that. That book is available on Amazon as well as Barnes & Noble online. As I mentioned, 28-day devotional, so each day you'll get a word with an encouraging message. And what makes it a little different than most devotionals out there, there are questions. Hello. There are questions where you're going to have to dig and peel back the layers in uncovering you. Because the thing is, once you connect and know yourself, we live in a world where we're so busy that we don't get the time to know ourselves. So with the devotional, you're going to get those questions, and if you answer them and you're authentic with it, you're going to know yourself in a new way, which is not only going to strengthen your relationship with God, it's going to strengthen you in showing up as your best self and loving, unapologetic love for yourself. So that book I highly recommend. Like I said, He Restored My Soul, Triumph Through Adversity. It is available on Amazon. All the books are available on Amazon. I do have a prayer journal as well. They're on Amazon, Kneeling at the Throne. That journal, I recommend journaling for anyone. And if you think you're not a journaler, chances are you are. Because if you have some type of resistance to it, a lot of times that means it's a gift and you just need to dig it. but kneeling at the throne. Prayer journal is there as well. And one book that I cannot not talk about, this all these books and everything, you'll see the link for it on my Instagram page, Live That Healthy for Life. But it's a collaboration book. Myself, along with a little over 100 Black women, we came together and developed a book for us. It's for Black women and girls. And in it, we talk about loving and respecting ourselves despite what this world tells us. Love letters to my girls. And it's a book, but it's also a resource guide because each section delves into certain areas, whether it's about your work, whether it's about knowing who you are as a woman, but love letters to my girls, so 100 letters geared just for you as a Black woman. But great book, highly recommend it. And as I mentioned, all of them are available. If you go to my Instagram page, Live That Healthy for Life, you'll find the link for everything that we've talked about in the slide.
And I'm just listening and feeding into what you're saying. The 13th of this month we have a workshop. It's a book writing workshop because here what we do, one of the things we do, we embrace writing and art as a way to encourage self-discovery, right? And to improve mental health. So we're having a book writing workshop the 13th of February, and the title is Healing Past Hurt, right? And the participants will write a love story to themselves or a story to themselves that they will publish to Amazon, right? And it's part of our writing exercise. So I like the 100 letters to the girls, and you also talked about the journaling, right? I want us to put the journal on our website to promote it on, because we will have a page where we'll put this interview and promote their books and stuff like that for our community as well, right?
Well, thanks so much, Tiffany. If you don't mind, let me give a shout out to my girl, Kama, who's watching. She just had her birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Yeah, she just joined us. Yeah, so I'm really excited. I'm really excited about what you're sharing with us today. I had recently, I also run another page for moms of autism, and the vice president of our organization, she died last year. She had lupus. She's been battling with lupus for many years, and a little bit after Halloween, she went back to the doctors. They were giving her IV therapy. They were doing all sorts of stuff, and she lost her battle. And so I wanted to ask you to come on here to speak with other women, especially Black women, about what they can do to, despite the disparities that we face that seem to not get resolved with time, how we can start taking steps to ensure that we are living a healthy life, right? We're saying yes only to the things that we're supposed to serve right? And then we're not eating junk food, because I know that's one of the pitfalls of our community is
Yes.
eating that fried chicken, eating the junk food, and it really um, does wear away at our collective health as a black community. And I would encourage you to reach out to Cassandra to get some support, especially when it comes to nutrition, to figure out what your body needs and to get you to that place of optimal health. And once you get to optimal physical health, it starts to get easier for you to put other aspects of your health on stream. I know for most people, it really doesn't click home until, it becomes a chronic issue. You either have got a diagnosis, it's something chronic, and then now you need to do something to help yourself. And I wouldn't encourage you to wait until, your it's doom and gloom and it's the 11th hour to take that step and reclaim your life, right?
Yeah. And particularly, I know I'm emphasizing Black women quite a bit, and there's a reason why. Black women, earlier when I gave some stats, one thing, Black women were 1 in 537 Black women are diagnosed with some type of lupus. So lupus is very common in the African American community. Unfortunately, it goes misdiagnosed. So there's probably, if we got diagnosed sooner, I'm sure the numbers would look different. But even with 1 in 537, that's significant.
Yeah.
So if you're experiencing symptoms, if you're experiencing extreme tiredness, fatigue for no reason, if you find it to where you ache, where your muscles ache for no reason, if you are experiencing problems in your reproductive health, things like that, and doctors aren't giving you clear-cut answers, please, I encourage you. The reason I'm here today is because I took matters into my own hands, and just thank God that I had a medical background and was able to do so. But I encourage you to seek support. If you know that you're not feeling well and you're having those type of symptoms, or maybe other symptoms you're experiencing if you're tired just for no apparent reason, maybe if you're just taking a break, you're not even doing anything strenuous, and you're still finding yourself fatigued, don't let anyone tell you, oh, it's because you have a demanding career or you're a business owner. Or if you know, because no one walking this planet, I don't care what doctor, nurse, no one knows your body better than you, because you're with yourself 24/7. So if you know deep inside that you're having symptoms with no logical explanation, it's time to reach out. It's time, whether it's me or another health wellness expert you trust, but do not give your health and well-being to someone. Don't put that in someone else's hands.
Right, exactly. Yes. And I'm glad that you're emphasizing this, and it's something that we'll continue to emphasize over the course of our outreach for the guilt-free self-care program. That you shouldn't be waiting to take care of yourself. You shouldn't be looking for the right time, and not just go a day at the spa or getting your facials done or getting your nails done. Those are just outward fixes. It's just those are superficial self-care.
Yes. That's pampering. And it's not always pampering yourself.
But
yeah.
If you're
self-care is what you do
inside, then it doesn't matter what you do on the outside. It's not going to make you feel any better, right?
Yeah.
And it's really not self-care. It's really covering. It's really an escape, right? And
self-care.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Self-care is what you do on a regular basis. It's no different than your vehicle. You keep your vehicle, and I know that gas prices have been up, down, but whatever. You don't let it get to where you're just on E. You're going to put some gas in there. So, and you do that on a regular basis. So it's no different with your body. There's nothing wrong with going to the spa. There's nothing wrong with getting a manicure. But what are you doing on a daily, weekly basis to refuel your body?
Right.
And if you don't have a self-care plan in place, let's talk.
Yeah.
Just reach out to me, send me a message. We can have a conversation and see how I can support you if I'm a fit for you. And guess what? If we're not a fit for one another, there's a good chance I can refer you to someone who may be a better fit for you.
Right. Right. But the important thing is to reach out and get support. Find out where you can get support from that suits your needs, and tap in. Get something started. Get something on the way. Figure out how to get a daily routine going where you need to make space to take care of yourself, because if you don't, then nobody's going to do it for you. The doctor will just wait for you to come around and drain whatever little resources you have for tests and a possible diagnosis. And why wait until then?
Yeah, be proactive. Be proactive. It's no different with your home. You don't wait until your home catches fire and get homeowner insurance. You have it now. You have insurance on your vehicle now, just in case you have an accident, just in case someone hits you. You have something in place. But here's the thing that makes it a little different with our body. Your body, every day you wake up, you're here. Right. So if you're alive, you need to have some type of plan in place to protect your health.
Oh, right.
It just makes good sense to have a plan in place to protect your health. Don't wait until, full-blown inferno. Have the plan in place, and chances are it won't happen. I know for me, one thing I really pride myself on, my background, I'm a holistic health practitioner, a wellness coach, as well as a master life coach. So we incorporate all those aspects, delving into the physical, emotional, spiritual, and then for those who are in business, we even incorporate that because that oftentimes can affect your health, like how your business is doing. And I'm proud to say I've been blessed to get some really great results. You don't have to just take my word for it. You can go to my website. When you go to my Instagram, that's Healthy for Life, and go to the link in my bio. You'll see the link to my website and see the type of results God has blessed me to have with the people I'm called to serve. That's why I'm super particular about who I'm working with, because oftentimes I'm more committed to you healing than you might be to your own healing initially when we start off. And I have to know that we're fit for one another. So take that on. You don't have anything to lose, but you have so much to gain. Just think about it. If me, a person who 7 years in remission with systemic lupus, I don't know what you're facing with your physical health and emotional health, but there's a really good chance I could support you just like I've been able to support others. You just have to say you're worth it. Decide today that me living a healthier, happier life, I'm not going to live. You know, we're still in the month of January. This month is almost over. Whatever resolutions you made, I guarantee you that you will not achieve any type of goal unless your body is healthy and whole.
Yep. Yes. So, as we're winding down, is there anything you would like to talk about? Anything that I didn't touch on, and you'd like to share with our listeners?
Yes, I would like to leave with this quote by the late great Maya Angelou. Anyone with the ability to love should start with themselves. So, love yourself. Love yourself, sister, no matter what. Love yourself. And if you need encouragement with that, if you need support in that, I'm here for you.
So thank you very much for coming on and sharing with us. And I hope I could get you to come back at some other point to share with us on other things, the spiritual aspects of your journey, your relationship with God. So there are several types of self-care. We basically touched on the physical, the health. We want to touch some spiritual. Because they're all connected, right? And you can't really work on one without working on the others, and it doesn't affect the way the others work, right? So I want us to talk a little bit more and dig a little bit deeper into the discussion of self-care in all aspects of your life. But today I wanted to talk about your journey in having your lupus in remission, because it's such an important topic for us as Black women, as it relates to our health, and as you mentioned, many get diagnosed a lot later, so the numbers really don't reflect where we stand health-wise. But I hope that our listeners were able to gather from what we've discussed today, what they can start to do or how they can frame their mindset to start putting themselves, their self-care at the center of their daily activities. So you have your activities, but whatever you're doing for that day should involve or the peak of your day should be around the care of yourself, because if your body is not well, then you won't be able to perform otherwise, right? I remember I was quoting because I scout different pages for women who I'd like to invite to the guilt-free self-care community. And I remember going on the page. I've been checking out her page for some time, and she did a reel, and the reel was about she was planning to get hit by a vehicle so that she could finally get some time to relax in the hospital, away from her family, and they would be forced to have to take up the responsibility of whatever tasks are at hand for the day. And she said she was joking, but I just thought to myself that came from a place of extreme. She wasn't well. She needed a break, and she didn't know how else to articulate or say that, I need a break, and you all need to take on the responsibilities. Almost like if she's there, they're gonna let it burn, so that she has to go on rescue and they don't have to be responsible. So that was a little bit sad, but I think what it does, it reinforces the mission to help these women to see that it's okay to take a break without feeling guilty, and do it regularly, right? Not just once in a blue moon, but take very good care of themselves so that they can care for those around them. So I want to thank you for sharing your journey. I know there was a purpose for the way things played out. I won't say for what you went through, but for the way it played out, so that you can then help others who may be going down this path, to make that about turn and to be of guidance for them, so that they too can they can finally turn things around for themselves, for their health, for their family. I know when there's a diagnosis, it's such a burden for the entire family. So, a lot of times women don't want to go to the hospital or to the doctors to get a diagnosis, because, once the diagnosis comes, then, it's a burden, right, that the entire family has to bear. They don't, a lot of times they don't feel that they are allowed to get sick, or to be unwell, or to not be of use to their family, right? So I really want to thank you for coming on and sharing with us. And I will tag your Instagram in the comments, so that our listeners can go to your page and get a chance to chat with you and see how they would be able to collaborate, and how you could help them start moving forward in their self-care journey. So I want to thank you again for that.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much, Tiffany. Thanks for everyone who's tuning in. I'm wishing everyone much health, much happiness, and I pray this new year brings everything your heart desires.
Yeah. So thanks again for coming, and I will chat with you soon. And for everybody that came to listen to our first podcast for the year, on the topics of self-care to self-discovery, the definitive roadmap to self-discovery. I hope that you are able to draw from Cassandra's journey, at least the parts that she was able to share with us today, and you're able to apply some of that to your own life and your own circumstances. Thanks again, and bye for now.
Bye.